the New England Patriots. They're going to be visiting the Cincinnati Bengals. This number back up to 8.5. We're assuming Jamar Chase is going to play. He was limited in practice both Wednesday and Thursday. Numbers 8.5. I do wonder if we get an official announcement like, okay, he's good to go on the final injury report today with Chase, if that goes up to 9, or if for some crazy reason he ends up not playing. I'm surprised that we don't have a contract done, or maybe there's going to be some announcement coming out this weekend. Much different scenario, but it was funny last night. Noah Gray announcement happens like a couple hours before the game. The Chiefs extended him, so maybe something similar happens with the Bengals this weekend. But obviously, the heavy play in Survivor. Are you doing anything with Pat's Bengals?
The only thing I'm thinking about is Patriots team total under. Do you want to guess what the number is, New England?
So, where are we at? Is it 17 or no?
16.5. Hell of a guess right
Okay.
there. I would love to get 17. I don't think that's going to happen. If anything, it's probably going to tick down a bit. So it's 16.5 at a couple books right now, minus 130 under. Probably not going to go to 17. I don't imagine there's a lot of wise guys ready to bet New England overs. Offensive line could be the worst in the league right now. You got Jacoby Brissett, who's a glorified journeyman backup. You have a play caller and Alex Van Pelt, who's never really done this at this level in terms of being an offensive coordinator. You don't have really a lot of talent at wide receiver either. And I was laughing too. One of my fantasy leagues, not to talk about fantasy again, but one of my guys took Ramondre Stevenson. He's an Oklahoma fan, so he likes Ramondre because that's what Ramondre played. He took Ramondre in the 3rd round. And I thought to myself, why would you do that? They're going to be down most games with a line that can't block, and they're not going to be run. So I don't see a lot of answers early in the season. Maybe this line is better than we think. Maybe. It's a big maybe. I'm not laying the number with Cincy. I'm not putting Cincy in Survivor. The only thing I'm thinking about, New England under 16.5 team total.
I understand why you're looking there. Okay. I'm going to ask you about maybe an obscure player to some, maybe not on people's radar, but if we play this out and we have a blowout, that's the expectation for most people, that we're going to have a blowout. And let's talk about the Illini. It sounds like Chase Brown might get a split here as far as the workload with Cincinnati. Do we take a look at Chase Brown props? The rushing number is only 33.5. And if we go for an anytime touchdown, okay, not as juicy as I was hoping, but still a good price. BetMGM has the best number in the market at plus 275.
Oh, I was hoping for 4-1. Damn. When
So
you
was
say a
I.
guy like Chase Brown, I was thinking, ooh. You know, it's interesting. We have these conversations all the time, on the air and off. Do you like this guy? Meh. What about 4-1? Oh, I'm in. Do you like Leggett? No.
Nope.
He's 6-1. I'm in.
Oh.
The number can really turn you in some of these scenarios, but it's tough to bet a backup running back. You said plus 290?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What about rushing yards? If the game's out of reach, 33.5. They're saying it's going to be split. If it's a 50-50 split, which we see more and more now in the league, 33.5. I know it's a good defense, but I mean, it just might be them run the clock out in that 4th quarter.
It sounds like you like it.
Yeah, I kind of do. 33.5. That's
Okay.
a low number. So, I mean, that's
their line in New England is so bad. So there's a really good chance since he gets up early and they're running the ball basically the entire second half. At which point you probably don't want your starters out there. Just feed Chase Brown. It makes sense. If the game script goes your way, it definitely makes sense.
All right. Yeah, I think Chase Brown's a decent look there with that number. All right, let's go to Seattle. I was thinking about that when Noops mentioned that this is his favorite side, Seattle -6. And we've made it known that our favorite Survivor play, and it's really not all that close, is Seattle against Denver. So why aren't we talking about Seattle -6?
I have Denver as the worst team in
Okay.
the NFL. I didn't bet it. It'll be one of my 5. You and I are both in contests where you have to pick 5 games ATS. Seattle -6 made the cut for sure. It's one of
Big.
my plays in contests. I don't have to bet every game though with my own money. In fact, I only have well, I made 2 bets during the show, so now I'm at 6 bets for the NFL card. But 16 games, I could if I wanted to, I could make 300 bets. I only have 6. And
Mhm.
Seattle -6, I didn't do it. I don't have a ticket on it, but it is one of my 5 ATS.
Not sure what Grubb is going to do with the Seattle offense. He's talking about running the ball, but he has a history of just slinging it all over the yard. And Geno Smith is a great deep ball passer. So you would think maybe he leans into that a little bit. We'll see what Lockett is today. He was limited in practice on Thursday. So there aren't any props on either side that I'm interested in. I am concerned about 6. I've got to win by a touchdown or more, but yeah, I mean, that's an easy tease, right? I know it's you'd rather go to 7 to 1, but 6 to a pick 'em, if you love them in Survivor and it's a low total, that seems like a pretty good teaser.
I've got him in Survivor, so I feel good. I'm
Yeah.
not going to tease him. I feel good about covering 6 in contests, and I've got, I mean, 2 Survivor entries in Vegas, so 2 grand riding on Seattle. I'm good there. You mentioned Lockett. If Lockett doesn't play, are we thinking he's what 50-50 to go? What would you make the
Yeah,
percentages? Okay.
it's about
So
50-50.
if he doesn't play, I think you can maybe get ahead of this here. Here's some food for thought. If he doesn't play, Tyler Lockett, we're going to see the numbers go up on obviously DK Metcalf, but you're going to see
Mhm.
the numbers go up on Jackson Smith and Jigba, former
That's the
Ohio
play.
State receiver. He's 43 and a half right now. MGM has 43 and a half. If they rule Lockett out, that Njigba number might go to 50 and a half. At which
Yep.
point you could technically middle it if you want, or you could ride with your good number. I mean, that could close 51 and a half. So then what you could do if you really wanted to, you could have over 43 and a half and under 51 and a half. Some people like to middle, others like to roll with their good bet. I mean, if you go over 43 and a half on a prop that closes 51 and a half, win or lose, you did your job. And you'll see that number to score a touchdown go down because Lockett is a guy who is very good breakaway down the field. How many times did we see Tyler Lockett catch a 30-yard touchdown pass in the air from, deep down the field? Smith and Jigba to score a touchdown plus 250. If they rule Lockett out, that number is probably closer to 2 to 1 plus 190. So something to pay
Mhm.
attention to as we get closer to the weekend.
Yeah, and just think where we're gonna be a week from now and the rest of the season. Injuries much bigger part of the storyline. Like, we've got it in a few different spots as far as week number 1, but, as we know, as the season goes on, it's gonna be a big, big deal. BetQL Daily, Joe O, Sammy P, breaking down the week 1 card. Let's go to New York. You've got the Vikings as a 1.5 point road favorite. They're hanging a total of 41 over at BetMGM. Sam Darnold returns to New York to face the Giants. He's got all those weapons. He's got the incredible play caller up in Minnesota, and Brian Daboll makes it known that my butt's on the line. I'm going to call plays for Daniel Jones now.
Is Daniel Jones dating Kay Adams, by the way? Did we confirm that? I saw that floating around the
That's a
internet the other
thing,
day. I
really?
saw it on social. Yeah. I don't
I
know.
didn't. I didn't see
She
that. I
tweeted
didn't
it.
know.
She tweeted it
Yeah.
out. She tweeted a little teaser clip of her and she called my boy Daniel Jones. My first
I
thought
see
is,
it.
oh, you see it now? Yeah, I think it
I
might
see
be a
the
thing.
stories. Yeah. Is she?
Good,
Yeah.
good for
Is
them.
she?
Whatever, whatever is what it
Yeah.
is. I
She's
like
had a lot
Kay.
of
I've
work.
done some work. I've done some work. I've done her show a couple times. Malik
Okay.
Neighbors to catch a touchdown plus 165. That is the lowest price of any rookie wide receiver. That is pretty telling.
Wow.
And if Brian Dable is going to be calling plays, I would imagine he's going to try and give this kid opportunities to catch the ball in the end zone. So that would be my first
Mm-hmm.
look. I did not bet the game yet, but Adam Chernoff was on Chicken Dinner this week, and one of his favorite bets is over 51 total points. I'm just
41.
telling you what he said. 40, yeah, 41. Sorry, what did I say? 51? 41.
Mhm.
Don't bet over 51. Over 41. He likes Darnold's ability to keep the game moving, whether that be touchdown passes or pick sixes or fumbles or whatever. It's not a big number. I mean, it's not hard in the modern day NFL to get over 41. You've got some good speed on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
You got some good players. I mean, we don't like Darnold, but I mean, they've got some dudes in that receiver room. And look, the Giants have shown the ability to play from behind and score points. So Adam Chernoff bets for a living. He does it very well. He's on the over 41 in this game.
I don't love betting overs in week one, but if I look at the other games that have totals around this number, like, okay, Dallas, Cleveland, or Bengals, Patriots, like 41 is a pretty popular number. Steelers and Falcons is a point higher, sitting at 42. If I'm picking an over, this is the one I'd go with. I understand the case, like you mentioned, just because of the high level talent that you have at receiver on both teams. Yes, the quarterback play can be lacking at times. These two guys have a history of playing some awful football, but with the coaches and the receivers, they might be just fine. You're concerned about the offensive line. Giants did make some additions in the offseason, but that was a good point by you with Dayball at Feeding Neighbors. Like, just the way he was salivating about this kid in that Hard Knocks before they ended up drafting him and how much he loves him. He walks in, it's far and away their best receiver. Like today, it's just like Harrison in Arizona. He's the best option on the outside, and it's not close. You got the LSU connection on the other side too. Like, yeah, man, these receivers are going to make plays in this game. I understand the case for over 41.
It's also perfect passing weather. I just pulled
Yeah.
up the forecast for East Rutherford, New Jersey. 72 degrees, very little wind, 0% chance of precipitation. Perfect passing weather.
There you go. Let's get to the Raiders and the Chargers. The Chargers are a 3-point home favorite. Your total is 40 and the hook in this matchup.
I have,
I heard
I
a
have no idea what to do with this
look,
game.
man.
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. All offseason, I heard all these strong takes on the Chargers, both positive and negative. They're going to go under, doesn't matter, total reset, starting over, Harbaugh's going to lose on purpose, or Harbaugh's great everywhere he goes. Year one, they take this enormous leap, and you still have Herbert. Like, don't worry about losing all the weapons, blah, 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 blah. And then on the Raiders, they have a few great players, and the rest I have a lot of questions about, including the quarterback. It might be the worst quarterback room in the NFL, and the interim takes over as the head man in Antonio Pierce. Raiders, Chargers field goal favorite. I also have no idea. I don't have angles on props. I will watch very little of this game.
Not going to bet it. Probably not going to watch
Yep.
it. Not
No.
much there. We know that Harbaugh is going to want to run the ball. That's what he has done everywhere. He did it in San Francisco. He did it at Michigan. They are going to be a run first team. I mean, look who they took in the first round, Joe. Top 10, everybody's taking quarterbacks and receivers. He takes Joe Alt, tackle out of Notre Dame. They are
Mm-hmm.
running the ball. So I might look at some touchdown props on guys like Gus Edwards and a guy like J.K. Dobbins, who hopefully can stay on the field this year, a former Baltimore Raven running back and Ohio State great. They're going to run, though. They're going to run, set up the pass via the run.
Paul's guy, DJ Chark, not practicing so far this week for the Chargers. Who's going to be the lead guy? Palmer. You think I'm joking? He loves DJ Chark. This has been going on for years. Loves DJ
I
Chark.
made
So,
one bet on the guy like 3 years ago.
but it was like, was it receiving leader or something
Maybe.
in the
Maybe. It was a
National
big
Football
number. It
League?
was a big number. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a bet on Trevor
Loves
Lawrence and Doug
We've all
Peterson.
been there, Paul. We've all been there. One year I bet Byron Buxton to win the AL MVP. He
Oh,
hit
I've done that.
190 in the month of April and then broke his leg or something. I'm like,
Yep.
oh, there goes that 100.